Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello and welcome back to your virtual tea time. My name is Tori and I am your host. And today we have such a fun episode. We have Kim here. Hi, Kim.
Tori, what's happening?
But we had Shelly Haywood fly in from California today. We're going to go play some golf today. Hi, Shelly. How are you?
Hi. I'm excited for the sun. No more rain.
I know. Let's talk about the amount of rain you've had in California because Shelly just walked into the studio and she's like, I can't wait to just not have to lift clean in place.
Yes.
What's been going on in California? How's the golf been?
The golf has been good, but just in between the rainstorms, we've had these atmospheric rivers of, whatever. And I mean, I've been there 10 years. And to be honest with you, I've never seen it like this. It's been literally, I feel like months. Every week there's a storm.
Well, don't feel bad because it's been like that here too. Not the amount of rain, but the cold, the wind.
It's cold. I mean, it's super cold. Like usually we have 70s. I haven't worn shorts. Don't laugh at my legs today.
I mean, I'm imagining probably at least half the listeners rolling their eyes at us right now, but we have been bitching about the weather for 4 months straight. It has been abysmal. We got so lucky for DC weather. I mean, if you think about it, the week before, 2 weeks after, the weather we have at Desert Classic was amazing, considering it was like right in the middle of this terrible cold weather we've had this season.
And I looked at pictures from last year, and last year we were all bundled up.
Oh, yeah.
And
it was cold
so
last
bad
year,
this
too.
year.
Yeah. So Shelly is one of the best senior women golfers.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
In the country. But Shelly, or playing golf at this elite level takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money. We're not getting paid to do this, but it's something that we love to do.
Yes.
And you work full time still.
I do.
How does that look? How do you make your schedule? How do you work, be full time still and then make a tournament schedule where you can still be one of the most elite golfers in the country?
I have to pick and choose. I have to pick the major tournaments, and keeping my schedule to where I can play in as many of the world amateur ranked tournaments as possible, which is basically has to be 54 holes or more.
Yeah. So 3 rounds.
3 rounds. Yeah. So all of the majors, LNGA, AGA, Jones Doherty, USGA, those sort of things. North and South I'm toying with. But that's in August and literally crazy time.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. I mean, I would love to come play in the Desert Classic. I'd love to come play in the Arizona Women's Open, but it's, I still work and I support myself. And so I have to be very, choosy about it. And we're fortunate in Southern California because we have a lot of tournaments, especially for the senior side. But then I also compete. I call them the kids.
Yeah. You compete against what do you call them, Kim? The flat
bellies.
Flat bellies.
Flat bellies.
We call them the flat bellies.
I love it. So you're picking your schedule throughout the year. How is it negotiating do you work for yourself or do you have a boss, quote unquote? Do you have to answer to someone?
I do not answer to anybody other than myself.
Okay.
I own my own business. I have a business partner. My store, I have a vintage furniture store specialized in mid-century modern. So vintage original pieces. And we do restoration and we also do interior design.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you were the U of A golf coach.
I was.
In the early 2000s.
I was. I lived in Tucson for 20 years. And I was the teaching professional at Tucson Country Club for most of those years. And then ended up getting the assistant job at the U of A, and then 2004 to 2010 was the head coach.
Yeah.
So when did you get your amateur status back?
So I got my amateur status back. I moved to Orange County in 2010, right after I left U of A. I was kind of over the desert and I just needed, it was a life change.
Yeah.
So I moved to Orange County, started my business, and that was in 2010. Well, in 2018, I did not touch a club for 8 years. Literally didn't touch a club.
We've heard that before.
Yeah, I was over it. I also had an accident where I dislocated my left shoulder on a scooter, like a Vespa. That wasn't too much fun.
Yeah.
So I just really put it on the back burner and just really didn't think of it. And it's expensive over there. You know, there's not, believe it or not, in Orange County, there's not a lot of places to play, especially reasonable places to play.
Yeah.
There's so I just was when you're paying your own bills, running your own business, putting every cent that you have into keeping your business thriving, golf was the last thing I wanted to do.
Well, and also you played at an elite level, and you when you don't have the time because you're focusing all on your business, when you don't have the time to train, you go out there and you're not reaching an expectation that is okay with you.
Yeah.
So that's when golf is no fun.
No fun. And I'm super competitive. I'm sure you guys
you're sitting at the right table, right, Kim?
And if I'm not very competitive, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
So if I can't do it well, I don't want to do it. And I had a client who I saw on her Instagram. She came in the store. She's bought several things from me, and her little Instagram profile was a golfer. She played golf, and so I just, oh, you play golf? Oh, that's cool. Not knowing my history at all. I didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew who I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, well, yeah, you should come. She goes, do you play? And I go, yeah, I play a little bit. I haven't played in a long time.
Yeah.
So she basically got the bug started with me. And I remember she took me out to Pelican Hill in Newport Beach. If you've ever
That's
been there.
Probably a good space to start to get the bug again.
Yes. Gorgeous, right on the water. And about the fourth hole, I mean, and of course, I think I probably shanked the first one. And I don't know. It was ugly for a few holes. And probably about the fourth hole, I get up and I hit a bunker shot. And I love bunkers. I'm a really good bunker player. And I hit a bunker shot, just one of those really crisp ones. And it hit it like,
like it made a good sound.
Yeah.
And
I hit it like
hole.
close and on a really hard hole. And she turns to me and she goes, is there something you're not telling me? And I go, well, we'll talk about that later. So that's basically how it started. That was 2018. And so I kept having all of these Newport Beach women ask me to play in their member guest, and I couldn't play because I was a member of the LPGA teaching and club professional division. So
all that time you maintained your membership?
I did.
What does that look like? You have to pay a yearly fee or resubmit every year? What is that?
Well, there's yes, you have to do that, and you also have to do continuing education. But because I kind of had given that up. I had plenty of points to carry me over for a few years. Mm-hmm. But once I stopped doing that, I wasn't able to do, continuing education involves going to workshops, seminars, playing in tournaments, going to the PGA show, you get points for it. So you just have to be active in your craft.
Yeah.
And so I eventually had to make a really tough decision, to be honest with you, because I was the 2005 LPGA National Coach of the Year.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And I still have my plaque. And it was a really hard decision because I loved the LPGA teaching and club professional division. I loved their philosophy on teaching. I still use it myself and my friends. I'll help them. But it was a hard decision to give that up. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to start playing golf again.
Yeah. And so what was the process like becoming an amateur again?
I got lucky, because I hadn't played a competitive round of golf on paper since the 2008 Women's Open qualifier at Alta Mesa.
Oh. Wait, did you play in that, Kim?
I wasn't.
You weren't around then? It seems like it was.
We were here in the spring, but we left in the summertime. So I've been back.
It was like stage one, because back then they had 2 stages. It was stage one. I didn't make it through, but I hadn't touched a club or really played anything competitively for close to 10 years. And so I applied, and they have a new process now, and you just do it online. And I usually, if you're a well-known professional and you've made some money and you've had a lot of history, you have to wait probably a couple years. Mm-hmm. But they gave mine back to me right away.
What was your process like, Kim?
I had to sit out for 2 years, and I had to have letters of recommendation.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, it's way easier now.
Yeah.
And I hadn't played either. I mean, let's see, I got it back in 91 and I sat out for like 2 years. I hadn't played any golf once. Well, when I left in 1986 out of the desert to go back to Colorado, I didn't play a whole lot of golf the next 5-6 years.
So now that they've made it easy to go from pro to a teaching professional, LPGA player, professional player to amateur, is it hard to get back in then? Like, can you go back and forth?
No.
You cannot.
So once you make that decision to go to play amateur, to be an amateur, going back,
probably start all over
Well,
again.
you could turn professional again.
Yeah.
No problem. But if you wanted to turn amateur, go back to amateur. No, it's a one and done deal.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, I guess I didn't know that.
No, they ask you that now on your application. Have you ever been reinstated amateur before?
So they've made it a little easier, but
going back and forth is they don't like that.
Yeah.
I still have my
imagine.
Class A
At least-
LPGA plaque on the wall too. Like,
Yeah. At least I don't think so. Don't quote me on here, but I don't think you can flip flop.
Okay, so Shelly, tell us about that journey though. So you give up your status, you start playing in amateur events. What happens?
I sucked in the beginning.
You certainly don't now.
I just started playing because I had turned 50 in that time. I'm 56 now, and I had turned 50, and that's when they had basically started the Senior Women's Open at Chicago Golf Club in 2018, I think.
I feel like I remember that.
Year.
Is that?
Was it 18? Let's see.
Could have been 19.
I bet you it was 19 because they've only had 3, right?
Yes, so it's 19. Yeah.
No, 20.
Maybe 2020 there wasn't one.
There wasn't one in 20.
Oh, that's right, because of the COVID.
Right.
So you had just turned 50. Did you try and qualify for the Open?
No, I wasn't gonna. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm gonna. So that's basically what got the bug started for me was they now have a Senior Women's Open and Senior Women's Amateur. And I was like, well, I did not try and qualify for Chicago Golf Club, even though that's one of the hardest courses I've ever played in my life.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful and hard and all of that.
Yeah.
But that was my goal. I was like, okay, well, next year I'm going to try and qualify for the Senior Women's Open. And so that was my goal. That's kind of what started me on the process of wanting to play a little bit more, and then Senior Women's Amateur.
Have you played an Open?
I have not. I know you. Yeah. No, I tried. The second year I was eligible, I tried, and I did not play well in the qualifier for a multitude of reasons. And then last year, or 2 years ago, they didn't have it in 20.
Wouldn't have been last year. They were in Connecticut, I think.
Yeah. So I did not. I did not play very well in qualifier. I was really upset with myself.
So Kim, you have qualified for the Women's Senior Open?
Yeah, I qualified for the second one at Pine Needles.
Where was the qualifying site?
Briarwood Country Club.
Really? And you qualified. This was 2021?
Mm-hmm.
And you went to Pine Needles?
Mm-hmm.
God, where was I? How was the experience?
Well, it's wonderful. I mean, I've played in a couple U.S. Opens too.
Yeah.
But what's different now, back in the day, I don't know if they had courtesy cars and everything for all the players like they do now.
They do now, yeah.
But we got off the airplane, went and got our stuff, and there was our Lexus sitting right out on the curb waiting for us.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
It's amazing. You drive up to the golf course, they valet your car when you're ready to leave. They go and get it, and they have it for you. And it was pretty special. I wish I would have played a little better, but
yeah. But how was Pine Needles too? That's right near Pinehurst, right?
Right.
Just right around the corner.
It's a great golf course. I mean, the greens were hard, so that took some. I mean, you just couldn't fly it into the greens.
Yeah,
because they would never hold.
Yeah,
you had to play it short, like 10 yards short.
Yeah, but then some of them that was hard to do. I mean, it's just it was
everything falls off there too. So,
but it was fun. I'll try this year. I didn't try last year. I had last year I dealt with vertigo for a long time.
Yeah, that was,
and so I didn't want to do that. But this year I'll try because it's at Waverly. in Oregon, and I played in an 81 amateur at Waverly, and I played in the 2017 U.S. Senior Women's Amateur at Waverly. So it would be really kind of fun to go back for a third time.
Yeah, that looks like a beautiful course too.
Yeah. It is.
Where's the qualifier this year? Oh, Papago.
Papago, you're caddying for me.
Oh my God, yes. No, I have it in my schedule, I promise. Where are you going to try and qualify?
Our qualifier is at Glendora in the LA area, which I haven't played the course yet. So that's where it's going. But that's I sent you a picture of my.
I know. Let's actually get in. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. Okay. And I want to show Kim too, because you have a vision board.
I do.
Okay. And you're a goals oriented person, which I very much like.
Yes.
And so you have your goals on your vision board, and how I want to kind of go back to the work, because you're still working. How do you balance the amount of work you need to put in on the golf course and the amount of work you need to put into your business? Do you have that balance down, or is it a constant work at it? Because it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, to play at our best level of golf, it still requires us to pay a significant amount of attention to it. Even though, Kim, I know you don't practice a ton or at all anymore, but you still make it a point to be out on the golf course almost every day.
Well, let's say 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah. My body's not liking this too much.
It's hard. Everybody asks me that question. How often do you play? And I'm lucky if I can play once a week.
Yeah.
Lucky. And there will be stretches of I don't play for 2 or 3 weeks because I'm busy.
But is that a round, or are you still getting out there and practicing?
No, just a round of golf.
Yeah.
When I practice, I try and I used to be a range rat in college. I played in college. I played at New Mexico State, and I probably wore out that range.
New Mexico State.
Oh, stop.
Well, I was a Lobo.
Yes, I do. Las Cruces and Albuquerque. Yeah. So, but I was a range rat, and I love to beat balls. I love to practice, but I've had to switch my focus to quality practice over quantity practice. And I focus much more on my short game now than I ever did before, with the help of my coach, who's really got me into a lot better techniques with my short game. So I really mostly do short game practice. When I do practice, I'll hit a bucket of balls maybe, but I really play more. I like to try and play more and play on the golf course and just play 18 holes as much as I can. And that's not as much as I would like. Trust me, I could be on the golf course 5 days a week. But
now you're saying you're much more short game focused when you go out and practice. Do you see that in the results? Like,
yes.
You do
100%. That's what won me the Jones Doherty this year.
Yeah,
100%.
So tell us what happened.
Oh, another champ.
I know.
Thank you.
I love it. So tell us where the Jones Doherty is, what the tournament's like, and tell us how your short game helped you win that championship.
So the Jones Doherty's in Fort Lauderdale. It's the first tournament of the year. It's in every January in Fort Lauderdale at Coral Ridge Country Club.
Same course every year.
Same course every year.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
It's phenomenal. And I never played the Jones Doherty before they did the changes on the golf course. And I know you won the Jones too. So we got got two Jones Doherty.
Huh?
What year did you win it?
Well, I won it twice, and was runner up once.
And just to clarify, this is a senior division, and there's a mid-am division there.
Well, there's an open division.
Oh, it's open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
so the year I won it,
a lot of flat bellies.
Lexi Thompson won the open division.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Did you get a picture together?
I do have a picture, but
okay, let's share it.
I don't know if I have it. I don't have it on my phone.
Okay, well, just when you're home and sitting with
I'm
pebbles.
Have to have Pat get her hard drives out. That's probably on one of her hard drives.
All right. Well, let's add it to the amount of pictures.
I don't know though, because you put those other two on Instagram.
Sorry, we have to deflect for a second. Shelly, did you see the pictures of Kim in her cop uniform?
No.
Okay, we're going to share them with you today, but they were amazing.
Yes, I got a message from our daughter, Ashley. I'm like, where did you see those?
I missed that.
Okay, so Shelly.
So Jones Doherty.
Yeah.
Love the golf course. The golf course just fits my eye, and they've done some changes to it. They did some changes during COVID, and then the first year that I played it was, I guess,
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah,
because I was there 2 years ago.
yes,
when you were there.
yes. 2 years ago, I played. I played well. I didn't. I think I was in the quarters. I made it to the quarters.
Okay, so it is a stroke play qualifier into match play.
Stroke play. It's one round of stroke play to get your seedings.
And you're guaranteed to get into the match play.
Yes.
Okay.
So top 16. Is it 16? No.
I think so. It used to be 32.
It used to be 32, but top
cut it down.
16 get into the championship bracket. And then the second 16 get into the
They've
first
cut it
play.
back so they don't have to, so it eliminates one day.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
from
that's
the members
nice.
not having to give up their golf course.
The golf course is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the whole tournament, it's probably one of the best
it's one of the best
amateur tournaments that you can play in.
and one of the longest running too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you look back in the history of the Jones Doherty, it's probably, I think, the third longest running women's golf tournament other than the LNGA, which used to be the Trans-Miss, and then USGA.
We'll put a link to it in the show notes too for anyone that might be interested.
I didn't go into the Jones playing well. I hadn't played well. I mean, I hadn't really played. It's January and it's freaking raining.
Yeah.
In California, and I holidays and all that. So I just went in and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I get paired with Martha Leach in our stroke play qualifier, and I love Martha. She's a good friend, dear friend, and we play decent, and we both get in, and I kind of scraped it around. It wasn't
like during your stroke play.
During the stroke play,
yeah.
I just kind of was like, I had a really good finish. I finished 3-3-3-3.
Nice.
Wow.
15, 16, 17, 18.
I kind of scraped it around 2 years ago to get in.
Yeah, and then my so it's grueling. And you know me, I walk. I'm probably one of the only seniors that walk as much as possible. I mean, there's a few of us, but I walk and I push my little cart as much as I can.
Yeah.
I played 126 holes in 5 days.
Yeah. So you walked the entire time.
It was grueling, but I just love to walk. So I shot 75 to get into the, to get seeded. And I think I was seeded 8th. I was the 8th seed.
Yeah. So just curious, what do you think that 16th seed shot in that stroke play qualifier?
It was 80 something.
Oh, it was. Okay.
When I made it, it was like I made it with an 83 and I was so disgusted.
It was probably about 83.
Yeah, but you made it. And did you end up winning?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm talking about just 2 years ago. I hadn't been in a couple of years since I went last year. And I didn't go this year because, as you know, I was on my sabbatical from playing golf tournaments.
She was taking a golf break. Yeah.
Taking a break.
So, Shelly, okay, so you get into match play.
I get into match
You're
play.
like they're 8th seed, so you're right in the middle.
And I get I pull Susan West, who's a good friend of mine too, and she's a good player. She's been around for a long time, and I'm hacking it around, but I managed to win that match. That was actually the toughest match.
Really?
My very first round match was Susan went to the 18th hole. I had a birdie 18.
So it was all tied going into 18?
It was all tied going into 18. I birdied 18.
Oh my God, it's so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And I was just like, oh, come on, Shelly, let's do this. And then gradually, as the week went on, every single match that I played, I got better. My ball striking was better and better and better and better.
Who else did you beat?
Second round, I beat Susie Spottelson. And then the third round was Andrea Krause, who's a member at Coral Ridge.
So she knew her way around.
She knew her way around. And I beat Susie 2-1. And then I beat Andrea 3-2. And then my semifinal match was Gigi Higgins. And
she's a little scrapper.
A little scrapper. And Gigi, if you know Gigi, she's like, I call her a little tornado. Because she's got so much energy and I love her to death. And I'm walking and I'm just like, okay. And this was the moment that all of a sudden things went, oh, okay, I can win this thing. I walked and I played. I basically had to force myself to be in slow motion. And that's what I was thinking the whole time.
Because Gigi, this was during your Gigi match?
Yes.
And she's going all over the place?
Well, she's playing great. I mean, we're both playing good. It's just Gigi's personality is very high energy, and it doesn't match my best golf.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think I can relate to that. Like I don't think high energy during a golf round would match my best golf.
It doesn't match my best golf because my best golf, I'm honestly in slow motion. And most of the time I don't remember.
Well, I think I remember, but I think I'm in slow motion too. Can you relate to that at all, Kim?
Well, I'm probably in between the two of them.
Yeah.
I played Gigi. The last time that I won it, I played Gigi in the semis and beat her, and then she caddied for me in the finals.
Yeah. But do you find with the high energy personality, you kind of have to disassociate it all, or
no?
Does anything bother you on the golf course as far as personalities are concerned?
No.
Or you're able to block it out regardless?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that it bothered me. It's just I knew that if I matched her energy, I'd be like, yeah. So I just slowed down, and that's when I really started to hit some good shots. I was like, okay. So then the final match was Judith Carinas, who is a USGA champion.
She just played at Gold Rush, right?
Yes.
Was that Marcy's partner?
Mm-hmm. Wonderful player, wonderful person. We had an unbelievable match.
Wait, back up. Let's talk about the night before, because you made it to the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an exciting match.
Yeah.
And you're going to sleep. Did you sleep that night?
Yeah, I did.
No sleeping pill, no.
Oh, I always have to take a Benadryl. That's just the way it is.
Okay. But I mean, is your mind kind of racing? And
it used to, honestly. I mean, when I was younger and when I was playing, amateur college golf, especially, and then before I got my amateur status back, I had a really difficult time. I had performance anxiety so bad that it was literally debilitating. It would manifest itself physically. Like I would shake, I would
And we're
sweat.
talking in the round.
During the round, yeah. Like before, during, after, the night before. I used to have performance anxiety so bad that I couldn't function. I'd play great in a round of golf just for fun, and then I'd get into a tournament and I'd shoot 85.
There's a PGA pro here in Mesa that was like that too. He doesn't play the tour much anymore, but Charlie Belgian had anxiety. I mean, to where he couldn't pull the trigger.
Did he ever overcome it at the professional level, or do you think he struggled the entire time and now he just doesn't really play that much anymore?
I think he probably struggled the whole time.
Yeah. So how'd you get through it? How'd you improve?
Well, let me finish that, and then I'll tell you how I got through it. So Judith and I knew Judith's a great player, and we matched each other lengthwise off the tee, so much that even 4 times we had to get our rangefinders out to decide who was out, because it's match play, right? So it was so equal. We made 9 birdies between the two of us.
Nice.
But I had to birdie 18. We were tied.
Going into 18 again?
I'm sorry. She was 1 up going into 18.
Wow.
And I had to birdie 18 to go to extra holes. So I hit it close, birdied 18. We get to the first playoff hole is, I think, the hardest hole on the course, number 1.
Yeah, it is probably one of the harder holes.
It's a long...
That's a nice way to start.
It's tough. It's a long dogleg right. You've got to carry it just perfect because if you hit it, bunkers everywhere on both sides. I flared my drive out, hit it in the right bunker, and hit a terrible shot out. I mean, hit it enough to get it in the front bunker. Well, the pin is basically front right.
So you've short-sighted yourself.
I've short-sighted myself to the point where my ball was in the bunker, but I was standing outside the bunker.
Nice.
And I couldn't just, I almost.
And where's Judith?
Judith is on the green. She's on the green, putting for par. And I'm.
Putting for par or birdie?
Or birdie, excuse me. Putting for birdie. And so I couldn't, there was a point where I couldn't decide whether or not to get on my knees to hit the bunker shot. Because I'm like, it's like a good, this far foot below my feet. And I'm a good bunker player. I've always been a really good bunker player. And I'm like, well, just, you know what? If you just get it out, it kind of feeds down the hill. So long story short, I get it out, feet's down the hill. I'm about 10 feet past the hole, and I make my par putt.
Nice.
And I think that rattled Judith a little bit because she was
probably ready to call it a match. Yeah.
Because she hit her drive then behind a tree on the second hole and had to punch out, and I 2-putted for par. So
wow,
we had a great match, and that was super fun. But my short game saved me. My putting saved me. My bunker play saved me on 18. My putting saved me. My chipping saved me. Because I can hit the ball good.
Yeah.
I'm a good ball striker.
Have either of you ever won a tournament or at least played really well in a tournament and walked away saying, wow, my ball striking is what won the tournament?
Yeah. LNGA.
Really?
Yeah. In Tucson.
So it's not always, I just made putts. I just made the putts I needed to.
Well, there's always that,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
The LNGA in Tucson, I hit the ball so good, it was stupid.
Yeah. So you said that was another one of your most favorite wins that you've had.
Well, I mean, I still can't believe this, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hold 2 majors in senior women's amateur golf, and they're in my house. I have 2 major trophies out of the 5 that we play.
I love it. That's great.
But the LNGA was probably my most special because it was my first.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was this year in Tubac.
It was last year in Tubac.
April.
Tubac, outside of Tucson, which is my adopted hometown, basically. Yeah. And I played great. I won by 5.
And you just didn't miss.
I didn't miss. The last day, I think I hit 16 greens.
Nice.
At Tubac.
Did you? I know. I've actually come to the conclusion that I don't like that golf course. I can't play well there.
It's hard.
I can't. It just doesn't fit my eye.
Yeah. It's a little quirky.
Yeah.
But the greens were a lot faster than I ever remembered them.
Did you go into it feeling good about your game?
I did, because I had spent the week prior to that, tough life I live here, in the Bahamas at Abaco Club with a friend of mine who invited me to play in a member guest. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the most difficult golf courses I've ever played.
How do we get an invite to a member guest in the Bahamas? Like, come on.
I don't know, but I'm good.
You don't need to do that? You don't need to check that off your list?
No, I said I would go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But that definitely helped.
Yeah.
Playing in links style conditions with literally blowing sometimes 4 clubs.
Yeah. So you come to Tubac, there's minimal wind, and, golf appears easy.
Ball striking is one of my strengths, I think. So my ball striking was really good that week too.
And that's 3 days of stroke play.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wish I could have been there.
I know. Oh, yeah. You want to tell us why you weren't there?
I had COVID.
So
that's right. I remember you texted.
So this was a year ago, last April, and you got sick right before.
Yeah, I got sick right after the 4-ball. The state 4-ball. I could have played because it was a cold, but there were some other circumstances that made it so I couldn't.
But you tested positive.
Yeah, I would never test again.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast episode.
Yes, that's a completely different podcast.
Okay, so Shelly, we talked about your 2 most enjoyable wins, biggest wins. You have 2 major titles sitting at your house. You still have the trophies at home. Let's talk about some of the hardest losses. What are some of what's one that really impacted you the most?
Probably the 2019 Southern Cal Senior Women's.
So that was, a year after you started playing.
Yeah. And again, I'm a competitor and I'm hard on myself and I go out there and I expect a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, I went out there. It was at Victoria Country Club in Riverside, which is a beautiful place. And they didn't it was kind of really my first big tournament. I think I played in the California Women's Championship at Ojai before that, which is at Ojai, but it's really my second big state tournament. And I just was like, all right, I'll just see how it goes. Well, I go out and I shot 73 the first round. I was leading by 3 shots. after. It's only 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, okay, cool. So I come back the next day and I was feeling good. And, to be honest with you, I have no idea. But I could not find the club face. Everything went left. And I know now why.
So you were hooking it?
Yes. Pull hooks, snap hooks. But that's just, I know now why.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the difference between me then and me now is when I've been able to basically, that was tough. I shot 85.
Yeah.
And I lost to Kathy Karada by, 3 or 4 shots. And I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was devastated. I'm like, what the hell just happened to me?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have the tools necessary to win. I just didn't. I hadn't put myself in that position enough to win, to really be able to understand what you need to do to win a tournament.
And what do you need to do?
Well, one of the things, like I said, is I need to be in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be calm. I need to be in slow motion. I listen to Kathy Hartwood a lot, who I love. And one of the things that I love about senior women's golf is we've all been through a whole hell of a lot in our lives, right? Like kids, sickness, cancer, divorce, death, whatever, and golf is just one of those things that we're just really lucky to be able to do. Mm-hmm. And nobody gives a shit what shoot, to be honest. I can say that.
Oh yeah, she uses the F word all the time.
Oh yeah,
so.
you can swear, but
nobody cares what you shoot. And I finally figured out that I am not defined as a person by the score that I shoot. Mm-hmm. It doesn't define me. And it used to.
So now knowing what you know now, when you go into a tournament that you want to win, it's not all about the goal as a number, meaning.
No, never.
No.
Never. Because you know what? You can't control that. The only thing, and that's one thing that I think it was Kathy that I was listening to, that said, you don't know what you're going to shoot. You can't control even what number you have on a hole. Mm-hmm. The only thing you can control is the shot that's in front of you for 30 seconds of concentration or however it takes. Mm-hmm. That's what you can control. After that, once that ball leaves the club face, it's out of your control.
Yeah.
So you control the things that you can physically control, which is your pre-shot routines, your mental game, your swing. After that, let it go.
Kim, what does it take to win a tournament?
Well, you got to want to win. Mm-hmm. And you have to just, if you were to ask Pat when I play my best, she'll tell you that it's when I get cocky.
Oh, I like it.
Because I'm out there trying to do it.
Yeah.
My probably my worst golf that I felt afterwards was last year at the Senior Am in Anchorage, not making it into match play.
Yeah.
That kind of devastated me.
Mm-hmm. And how did that impact you after the fact? Like getting home, how you chose to schedule your time after that?
I started working out.
Yeah.
I just felt kind of weak. And this is the first time in 13 years I haven't made it into match play.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I understand. But so that's interesting. So you feel like, or Pat says you play your best when you're walking around and your shit doesn't stink.
Just a little cocky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. You have to go out there with an air of, you know what, nobody's going to beat me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, internally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think mentally that's where I probably thrive compared to some people because it'd probably be amazing if I had a coach and if I practiced, and you never know what I could do, but you know what? That's not me.
Yeah.
And so
that's
you got to have it up here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's definitely tournaments you go into and you really do believe that. Like, I'm going to win this. I know I am. No one, if I'm playing good golf, no one can beat me.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the tournaments you don't feel that, you have to manufacture that somehow.
And that's hard too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like when you go in there and you're hitting it sideways, you're not finding the club face or you're not putting well. You have no idea where it's going on the greens. You're like, I mean, it's really hard to pull yourself back in there, but I've just found for me that if I just pretend that I'm in slow motion, and that one of the things I also learned from Kathy, I think, is to be in your bubble. Like I walk around like I'm bubble girl.
Yeah.
Like things are bouncing on you and it's just, nope.
Like you're not taking anything in.
You're not going to do that to me, and you're not going to do that to me, or somebody's bugging you, or you're playing with somebody that's playing slow or whatever. And it's just like, nope.
Yeah.
You have the choice to say, no.
That's not going to affect me.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
Now, my problem, according to Pat, is I like to socialize too much.
Yeah. And Pat would, while you're playing.
Oh, yeah. I want to talk with the people. And she's like, come on.
So next time you get paired with Shelly and when you're yapping at her, asking her all these questions.
No, it's just bouncing off of her.
She doesn't even know what you're saying. That's why she doesn't remember the round.
Like, wah, 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 wah.
I honestly don't remember, like at the Jones, Doherty, and even the LNGA, I'm thinking back, I remember some shots, but I was so focused on the process that I really I was like, oh, okay.
So how did that loss impact you after? So it was very shortly after you just started playing again.
Yeah.
You play in this state tournament, the state open, and it felt like shit. And you let yourself down. What happened after that?
I just said, you know what? I'm better than this, and I'm not going to let it get me down. I talked to Kathy actually after the round, because Kathy is a wonderful person.
Yeah, she is.
And has a lot of really good knowledge. And she has this energy about her that's just like,
Are we talking Kathy Carrata?
Yeah. Wonderful person. And her energy is amazing.
Is she one of the top players in California?
California, yeah. Yeah. And
thanks for clarifying that. I actually thought she meant Kathy Hartwood again.
Oh, no. Yeah. Kathy Carrata, yeah.
Okay.
And I talked to her and she goes, Shelly, everybody knows you're an amazing player. You don't have to prove it.
Yeah.
You have nothing to prove.
Oh my God, were you crying when she said that? I would have been bawling.
I was just like, So then, some things happened in my life after that. Well, during that whole time too, there were some really gnarly things that we haven't talked about that I'll bring up. I was in, for about 5 years, a really abusive alcoholic relationship. Physically, emotionally, mentally, verbal, financial, everything. And every time I would go to a tournament, I would get a text message from this person saying, I hope you die in a plane crash, or I'm going to take your dogs and throw them out in the middle of the street, or
wow.
Just because you were gone and he wanted to I actually just assumed that he wanted to affect you while you were gone.
Because he knew it would bother me.
Yeah.
Because my dogs are I don't have children, so my dogs are my life.
Yep.
And I all of a sudden started playing golf again, and it was my release from him. It was something to get away from him, that I had my own identity. Because when you're in a relationship with an alcoholic narcissist that's abusive, they suck the energy out of you, and you just take your whole being to try and not let the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
You just have to keep everything together. And finally I said, you know what? No, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to allow him to do this to me anymore. And so that went on for a couple of years. During my 2019, 2020, we didn't play. And then the first part of 2021, I finally extricated myself from that relationship. And my coach told me, he's like, Shelly, kick that guy to the curb. As soon as you kick him to the curb, you're going to win. And you know what? LNGA.
Yeah.
A few months after that. And I had finished second many, many times.
Yeah.
Runner up probably 5 times in California. I just couldn't win because I'd get these, I was trying to just hold it all together.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
Well, you said it so quickly, but I'm sure it was a very hard decision, very hard process to separate.
It was, because I didn't grow up. I grew up Mormon, so I didn't grow up around people that drank. I just didn't know the red flags. I didn't know, oh, that's a red flag or that's a red flag. And the most messed up thing about being in a relationship like that is you don't realize how bad it is until you tell people what you've endured. And they'll go, you did what? What?
Mm-hmm.
You put up with that? You put up with that? Like, there's some really messed up things. Like flying to Cedar Rapids, my very first women's senior, lovely, wonderful golf course. I get a text message on the plane. I hope you die in a plane crash.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to function?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to perform at my level when I don't have the support at home?
Mm.
You know, it's impossible. And so finally, I just said, that's enough.
No one. I don't care who you are. No one deserves to be treated like that.
No.
And I have seen it so many times, and I see women going back, and
It's hard. I did. I went back a couple times.
Because a lot of it's financial. A lot of these women think, how am I going to live on my own and stuff? But there are places out there in your community that will help you.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've seen
I'm
it.
sure. I mean, just you being a cop, you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Not even just with friends, but with...
Cops were at the house every other weekend.
Ugh.
And the cops would look at me and go, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Shelly, you know what you need to do. My friend, Shelly, you know what you need to do. Yeah, I do.
It's easier said than done.
It's a lot easier said than done. But there came a point where my joy was much more important than his pain.
Yeah.
And you can't throw that on me anymore.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot, obviously, somebody like that has a lot of personal pain that's led up to that. And they're just projecting it on you because they're in so much pain. And they just, they put it on you.
Yeah.
And it's messed up that I tried to fix it because, I'm strong. We're strong women, right? We're strong. We own our own businesses. We make shit happen.
Yep.
We get things done. Well, I can fix them. You know what? No, you can't.
Yeah.
And so that was honestly, and that's what I was alluding to in my email when you asked me questions, answer these questions. I would not be alive if it wasn't for golf. If I hadn't have found an out.
Yeah.
Which is something that I love and something that brings me joy.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
Because I probably would have.
Who knows what would have happened?
Who knows? He stole my firearms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reported me to the police.
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me? Yeah. It was bad. But it's been a healing process, and I don't tell a lot of people about it. And I think one of the reasons why I'm ready to tell people now is because I know there are women out there going through the same thing.
Definitely.
And I really appreciate you sharing that.
And I kind of threw that on you, but that's, I attribute the fact that I was able to extricate myself from an abusive relationship and say, no more. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm putting me first, and I'm doing the things that bring me joy. Mm-hmm. And all of the ladies, every single one of them, Kim was one of the first ones that I met, in the senior division. And then Molly, when I played with Molly at the LNGA, we had a blast. All these ladies, nobody cares what you shoot. They just want to know if you're okay. How are you? Yeah. How's everything? How's your dogs?
So Molly, I knew that you and Molly were playing together.
Yeah.
Because you played probably 2 rounds together.
We did in the first 2, yeah.
And I remember Molly getting off the course, and she called me and she said, wow, that Shelly, she's tough. She is a tough player. And I remember that like it was yesterday. So it's, it's our community is interesting, and it just.
That's what I love about senior golf. I didn't like amateur golf.
Yeah.
It's too stressful for me. I didn't like professional golf. It was way too stressful. But being a senior and being, over 50 and now playing with all these ladies, I look forward to tournaments because these ladies are all my friends. We all go out and have dinner.
And would you say you guys are all at the senior level? You're all playing it because it just does still bring you joy. And you're just there. You want to win.
Well, yeah, because normal people wouldn't go out and spend the kind of money that we spend to do this job if we didn't like it.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I can't even, I don't even want to know how much I spent last year.
Well, I want to branch out into what we were just talking about. We have about 13 more minutes. I want to touch on the fact that what's going on in your life definitely comes out on the golf course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just like what you were saying. So when you're in a stressful period of your life, let's say work is stressful, family stuff, whatever is going on, and you're going into a golf tournament, is there a way to kind of detach from it that you found? Or is it kind of like, okay, expectations are low, there's a lot of shit going on, let's see what we can do?
For me, that's it. Expectations are low. There's a lot of shit going on. Like we just had the Yorba Linda City Amateur 2 weekends ago, and I had a lot going on with my housing situation where I'm probably gonna have to move my house, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised I played as well as I did. And I ended up winning by 9.
But you knew going into it.
I was like, okay, well, here we go. One of the things I learned from coaching at Arizona, and this is very interesting, is I learned that boys or men, when they play good golf, it makes them happy. But when women are happy, they play good golf.
Yeah. I can agree with that, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times where I've been so out of it emotionally because of whatever's going on in the background that it makes me go into slow-mo mode and I'm just like a zombie, and I've played well. But I'd say more times than not, it's because I'm playing well because I'm in a good space.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, I remember many times, like, I set the course record at Perry Park Country Club, which is a really small course. You know Perry Park in Colorado.
It's a great little mountain course.
Great little course. So I was, right out of college, I was the assistant at that club for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so after a couple of years, it was time to move to warmer climate. So that's when I ended up going down to Tucson. But the day after, either that day or the day after I got the call that I got the job at Tucson Country Club, I set the course record at Perry Park. And that's actually happened twice.
Isn't that funny?
Like when there's really good things going on in your life, you play good golf. And that's, I mean, I just learned that when women are happy, they play good golf. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, and it's probably true with the men too, but I just noticed it more with the girls.
No, I love that. I love that tidbit. So your goals going into 2023?
Well, I want to qualify for the Senior Open.
Okay. And again, remind me where that qualifier is.
It's at Glendora in LA. Right now I'm in the top 30, inside the top 30 in World Amateur Golf rankings for women over 50. So that gets me exempt for the Senior Women's Amateur, so I don't have to qualify for that.
Oh, good.
So I'll go back to that. I'd like to win the California Amateur, Senior Amateur. I was in the last group last year with Lynn Cowan and all that, and she's a wonderful player. She ended up winning. But I've had to adjust my goal board a little bit, and this is with the help of my coach. He's like, stop putting down, you want to win this, you want to win that, this, you want to win that, you want to win that. We all want to win. Otherwise, you wouldn't go.
Okay, wait, this is a good point.
This
yes, and what do you say?
Point. And he said, take care of the this little thing down here. Stay focused on the things you can control and let go of the things you can't. Take care of the little things, and the bigger things will always follow. So if you take care of your short game, if you take care of your wedge game, like improve my wedge play, 100 yards and less, 80% is my goal for short game, for getting up and down. So is
that a reasonable goal?
I think so.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. I haven't measured it that way, so I'm just so
I wouldn't know. I don't keep stats or anything on my golf.
I would imagine though, when your number's around 80%, you're probably playing.
I mean,
really
anything
good.
over 75%, I think is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. And then commit to every shot 100%. And then he's like, stop putting down, I want to win this, and this. Because that's a given. We already know that, or else you wouldn't play.
Okay.
Stop it.
I like it.
Put down, improve your wedge play, improve your short game, improve your bunker play, commit to every shot, and then be grateful, stay healthy, and stretch.
Let's see, I can't commit to practicing.
Do you feel like you commit to every shot? Kim, can you check that box?
No, I don't think I do. Right now, I'm actually struggling on just trying to hit the ball in the center of the club face. I mean, when I stay down, I've been hitting the ball right a lot and stuff. And I thought it was my alignment, but I really think it's because I don't stay down enough. Now I started hitting my wedges with you the other day.
I know. Where were we playing the other day?
The Gold Rush. We were at the Gold Rush.
God.
And I started hitting my irons a lot better that last day because I was staying down longer through the shot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have a picture of Troon Country Club on here because that's a subliminal message.
Yep. So we're not. So
for the senior amateur.
Some of the girls went out and played it while they were here.
Oh, did they?
$250.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, me either.
Just note to everyone out there, it's not worth it.
Well,
$250.
You get two free. You get 2 practice rounds.
Yeah, that's enough.
And my philosophy is too. It doesn't really. I don't know. I don't think it does you any good to play a practice round 6 months in advance.
No.
The conditions are completely different.
Well, and you don't know what tees you're playing yet.
Like I always play a practice round the day before, at the latest, like 2 days before. I always.
I mean, Kim, the greens are completely different grass right now, right? Compared to what they will be in September.
Well, the greens will be Bermuda. I'm sure they're Bermuda.
Yeah.
So it's going to be totally different grass than it is now because Troon overseeds.
Yeah.
So you're going to have your Bermuda underneath with your rye on top. Well, the end of September, 1st of October, it's all Bermuda.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's probably
firm,
starting to dry out because they're going to overseed probably as soon as this tournament's over.
As soon as that tournament's over, they're going to shave it down and overseed. So it's going to be totally different conditions.
And it's a good golf course. I mean, we had a qualifier there 4 or 5 years ago for the senior women's am. Good golf course.
Yeah. That's still not worth $250. That's really, it's just.
There's not too many golf courses in my mind worth $250.
Pelican Hill's $350.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did play Pebble Beach. I have to admit that was a bucket list, and that was $530.
Yeah. All right, let's finish with this topic.
Okay.
Being a woman and being competitive. Okay, so we kind of giggled in the beginning of the conversation because, we're all highly competitive females. How is that navigating the golf world? You say that the senior level is different. It's more joyful. It appears.
Well, there's a lot more camaraderie
Yeah.
In the seniors. Like there's one tournament that's before the Doherty. It's called the Sally. It's up in Ormond Beach and it's always cold. And they've never had really a senior division. So when we played the same tees as the kids. Well, and I got paired with a couple kids one year and they were homeschooled. You couldn't talk to them if you tried.
Yeah, I mean, even when they're not homeschooled, I see that most of the premier younger golfers, you're not talking much.
No.
Yeah.
And, I think that's difficult. I mean, because I'm an outgoing.
You're a talker. I mean, there's no bubble
around
you.
But still, there doesn't mean that you have to be rude or non-communicative at all.
But is there, so, and maybe I'm looking more towards the casual golf, the country club leagues, even just the regular women's league stuff, the state level, coming in as a woman and wanting to win. It's important to you. I want to win. I do play these events, whether it's just a 1-day guest day to a 3-day stroke, national event. I want to win.
Yeah.
Do you find that is looked down upon?
Sometimes.
Yeah. And have you learned to embrace it or act differently?
I think I've learned to embrace. I've learned to embrace it just because, there are several guest days, member guests that I'll play in over in Southern California, and I get invited. I'm playing in one in a couple weeks, and I get invited, and everybody, you walk in, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's Shelly." No. And these are country club ladies, right?
Yeah.
My goal is not to go out and bash their heads into the ground and win by 10.
Well, and I imagine it's all net, so it's still
some of it's gross. They have gross fights and net. They do have gross and net. Most of it's net, but I have to take a little bit of a different approach when I do those. I I try and be as light as possible, and as friendly as possible, and joke around. And there are still some that just they don't like you. You're a +1, +2, and they don't like you coming into their guest days and winning.
Or even their golf courses or ladies' leagues.
Yeah.
That's yes. But you know what? You have to take it with a grain of salt.
Or do you hear this one a lot? She's a retired golf pro.
I don't know if a lot of people know that I was a
Oh,
professional,
God.
so I don't
Kim
let
does
that
have
out.
to deal with that a lot.
I don't let that out a lot. I mean, a lot of people do know that, but here
Now
and
the
there,
whole
so-
world's going to know.
I know, but not anymore. But I just, you know what? You can't control it.
I know, but it does make it difficult. And
I just try to be gracious.
Yeah. And I'm sure the full bubble is not around you at certain events. Like the bubble is for elite tournament experiences.
let me tell you, the women who I've met through your stuff have got me to do things that I would never, ever do.
Birdie juice.
No, I'm into tequila shots now.
She's a heavier drinker. We got Ashley out in the corner dancing.
Yes,
the
they have
tequila
me
shots.
dancing. They have me doing tequila shots. They had lipstick on me.
Yeah. See, I still don't drink when I play. I won't. I won't do it.
No, this isn't during play. I don't, if I'm playing for fun with my friends, we'll do birdie shots.
Yeah. See, I won't even do birdie
Or
shots.
maybe a birdie gummy. Remember when you took a gummy?
I remember the gummy thing. That was funny.
I'll never do that again. But, when I'm playing like you, I don't drink.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
But perhaps it's more of like a know the room situation when you're going into these events.
You do. You have to know the room. You also have to, I think realize that, you're coming into an area where these ladies, especially if you're a newbie like I was, coming into a Shady Canyon Country Club or Mesa Verde or wherever it may be, you're a newbie and you're coming in and you're winning with your friend, and all of a sudden you're the ringer and blah blah blah. But I just try and be gracious and say thank you to everyone. Thank you for having me. Yeah. I mean, a little bit of graciousness goes a long way. And, I don't play in a lot of them, but, I do enjoy it. I do have fun because sometimes that's going to be my only round of golf for the week.
Exactly. So and most times it's at a beautiful course.
Yeah. Yeah. Gorgeous. Usually, those guest days and the food's always amazing. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, I just loved our conversation today. We are heading out. We're going to have a bite to eat, and then we're going to head over to Arizona Country Club, play around. It's going to be nice and dry, Shelly.
I get to wear a skirt. Don't laugh at my OB steaks. I literally haven't put a skirt on.
You're going to get some sun on the legs. Yay. We're going to go for a nice walk. It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
I'm not going for a walk.
No, you're going to be riding, but we'll be walking alongside you.
Yes, I'm excited. And for my 20 plus years living in Arizona, I've never played Arizona Country Club.
You'll love it.
It's one of my favorite, I think, down here.
It's probably a lot like Tucson, I'm guessing. Traditional.
Yeah, I've never played Tucson Country Club, but I like Arizona better than Phoenix Country Club, even though I like it too. But yeah.
It's a nice traditional course in the desert. It's an easy walk. I could play it every day and not get bored. Yeah. I think
Pat and I always talk about that. If we ever won the lottery, we would maybe join Arizona Country Club.
Yeah.
Mostly because the women there are fun.
Yeah, it looks super fun.
It is. All right, ladies. Well, let's thank you again for being here. Shelly, your story is amazing.
Thank
I
you.
always love hearing from women that embrace their inner athlete and also just want to knock it out of the park.
And have overcome a lot.
Yeah. And the fact that you're doing it and still working full time is really important to talk about.
Well, I think I have about 5 years left in me, and that's about it as far as working goes.
I love it.
Hey, I never played any national stuff when I worked.
Yeah.
Didn't have
It's
time.
hard.
You couldn't take that much time off.
Yeah.
And
working for yourself, obviously different, and I do own my own business, so I'm my own boss. And I have a very understanding and awesome business partner. Mm-hmm. She covers for me. She's always, how'd you do? She's my dear friend and business partner. So we have a great relationship.
That makes a lot of difference.
Yes. Exactly. Well, thanks again.
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Now let's go golf.
Let's do it. Let's do this.
Be sure to check out the show notes for all the details on today's show. If you haven't already, please give a 5-star written review on your favorite podcast platform, or even screenshot this episode and send it to your golf buddies. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the first tee in a couple days.